Welcome to Simply Growing Together. My name's Ty, and today we're talking about permaculture for the web. Some of you might know the technology blockchain. Some of you might have heard the craze about Bitcoin. Today I'm going to give you a very rundown, watered down version of how blockchain works with smart contracts and how all that can change the way we function within the world, similar to how the permaculture idea of functioning with our ecosystem works. Okay, permaculture for the web, a look into the blockchain ecosystem. Permaculture definition is an agricultural system that seeks to integrate human activity with natural surroundings to create a highly self-sustaining ecosystem. And the blockchain ecosystem is a network that holds trust for communities to create a common ground that enables direct interaction with different participants in the ecosystem. So the idea is that we are each an individual person participating in an ecosystem that has trading, that has value of different kinds, of long spectrums of different people. It's one large community broken down into smaller communities that all function together for the benefit of the whole. So it's a very big collaboration. Just like in permaculture, every part of the system is necessary and every part of the system helps another part of the system function better. That same concept is introduced here in the technology of blockchain, which has been very recent in our discovery. So the main thing that makes these blockchains work is the smart contract. The smart contract is made up of two main parts, or three. So the smart contract is one part. The vending machine is what I like to call it, and the creator of Ethereum, who designed these smart contracts, often refers to the vending machine. And then there's the token seed. So let's get into this a little bit more. The smart contract is a trusted, private, secure, open source, decentralized contract. It's a set of codes that programmers use to interact with each other and to communicate with each other. They call it a smart contract because you basically put an input in there, it goes and does what it needs to get that output. And so this is what we refer to as the vending machine. The vending machine protects your contract and its stored value. So in a vending machine, you usually put drinks or food or other types of objects into the vending machine. You go up there, you put $2 in, and you get a water out, or you get some sort of drink out of it. And so that's basically what a smart contract does, is you put this input in there, usually a token or a cryptocurrency or your own value of some kind or some action, and you get a response back. So it does something in return for that. The smart contract runs in this vending machine, and it allows people to trust the interactions. So instead of having a third party verify what is happening and who can be trusted and the legal terms behind it all, you can trust this machine. So I put my product in a smart contract. Somebody else who wants that product simply just has to put in their token or my token, and they get the product or they get that service, or it's a collaboration of sorts. So we're trusting in this contract, which is a piece of code that's secure, doesn't break, can't be changed, and it protects the value I'm putting into that contract, much like a vending machine protects the water or the food that's stored in the vending machine. It would take a lot of effort to break that vending machine and steal everything. And even if you do, that's just one vending machine. If you imagine these vending machines connected to every other vending machine in the world, and you're trying to steal the capital or the value of all these vending machines, you'd have to go bust up every vending machine one at a time. And it's very ineffective, very inefficient. So it's very secure in that sense. So I wanted to give you a really quick example, and that is Uniswap. Uniswap utilizes a smart contract to swap any two tokens in an ecosystem. It's decentralized, so nobody owns Uniswap. Nobody controls Uniswap. It's everybody who owns Uniswap tokens gets to decide on the policies of what's going to happen. So it goes through a vote. Let's just launch the app here, and I can kind of give you a small idea of how a smart contract in the blockchain can function for finance. So this is an exchange is what they call it. So if you were to buy Bitcoin or if you were to buy Ethereum and you wanted to swap it with a lesser known coin like maybe Aave, which is a lending program protocol that uses smart contracts to get their token, you can put in the amount of ETH you'd like. So let's say 12 ETH for, select your token, Aave. Or we could do Uniswap tokens. So I have 3 Uniswap tokens here, which is part of their protocol. If you swap, and it does a simple swap. So the smart contract essentially just has an algorithm in there that says if I put 12 tokens of ETH in, you get 100 tokens of Uniswap tokens. And that's all it does. So I put this amount of money in, I get this amount of money out. Very simple. Now, the other thing a smart contract does is produce a token or a value of some sort that leads to a community. So I like to call it the seed or the token seed, and this is how people participate with your contract. The cool thing is that this is kind of getting out of the realms of capitalism in the sense that the people who interact with your company through this contract or with a business is usually a decentralized community or a company. And so everybody who interacts and buys into it is an investor in that company. So you get a token which has a value to my company. And my company is made up of 1 million tokens, say. And these tokens can be used on my contract, or other contracts could interact with my contract so that it builds this community. And it's very much like a web or mycelium growth. So the token is owned and controlled by a broad and representative community that shares in the value of that token. People are free to trade for any other token in the ecosystem. So if I have a token A up here that has a community, this community holds all these tokens, but they can switch and trade with community B or C or D or F, and all these communities kind of interact with each other. And the reason why they can do that is because of the vending machine. They can trust that this vending machine is going to hold the security. It's going to do what it's supposed to be doing. And many people who are starting companies in the blockchain industry have what they call a white paper, which is a layout of their entire idea of the protocol and the code that they're using. So that's the open source part where you can look at how this company built its code, how it functions, what its purpose is for, and how you could possibly interact with it in some way. So it allows consumers like us to really look at the values of this company and to really see if they are secure or if they're saying what they're doing. So it opens up a possibility to collaborate with each other in each other's communities in a way that's never been able to be done before, because we've always had to have intermediaries where, like, a bank verifies the transaction, or a third party makes sure that the trade is successful, or the contract is confirmed or fulfilled in some manner. But this is all done through the vending machine. And so once we have these kind of layers going on, we build this community similar to permaculture. So here's our vending machines, here's our tokens of value, and you can compare it to trees where their roots interact with each other through a mycelium network, which is mushrooms. And they can communicate by sending sugars to one another or different minerals. And these are pathways where this tree can get what it needs from this tree way back here, and they can trade for, maybe this tree has more sunlight, so it produces a lot more sugar, so it starts sending that excess of value to other trees that need it, and in return the trees that are receiving the sugar will send another thing of value, maybe minerals, maybe it's phosphorus, maybe calcium, or maybe it starts growing the network more underneath that main tree because of all the sugar. So it's a collaborative system of different communities of all shapes and sizes, of different plants, of different animals, and it's kind of the first real way we could see a permaculture principle done to the web, to the economy, to peer-to-peer interactions. So this is a very watered down, brief version of what a blockchain does. So, and specifically, smart contracts on a blockchain. So if you look into something like Bitcoin, the process will be a little different. And I've left out a lot of things like proof of work and how these communities are maintained. So if you'd like a more in-depth video later on, I can go into more of the technical side of all this. But the aspect that you really should take away from here is that this trusting machine, or the vending machine, enables us through code to kind of be able to get rid of that third party that validates who we are, what we do, how we trade, and verifying that interaction. So if you have any questions, comment down below, and we'll